Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now, live at 4 on this Thursday.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. We got a Valentine's gift from Mother Nature.
We certainly
40
did.
degrees. People are outside in the shorts.
It feels like 80, doesn't it?
I know.
It is so nice.
You know you live in Wisconsin.
Good stuff, yeah.
But enjoy it. It's back to the single digits later tonight, so that's coming up. But first, here's what's making news today. A border security bill has passed the U.S. Senate. The president is expected to sign it, avoiding a shutdown tomorrow, but a national emergency declaration is still in the works.
We'll have the latest on that. A moment of silence is held in Parkland, Florida, 1 year after 17 students and staff were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
And on that anniversary, people bearing petitions flood the state capitol asking for stricter gun laws.
Let's take a look outside today on this Thursday. Boy, as Mark said, it felt so nice. Let the melting begin.
Yeah, it's amazing. The roads are all clear, but it's not going to last long because love is turning cold. On this Valentine's Day, Dana Fulton is in the backyard. Enjoy it while you can.
Yes, the love warmed us up just a little bit today. Temperatures well above average. In fact, in the last 24 hours, we've jumped just about 14 degrees in Madison, 20 degrees, though, for Platteville and Monroe. That puts us right now at 40. Currently for Monroe, for Platteville, for Madison, 41 in Janesville. We should be closer to 30 degrees. So yes, this is a little bit of a warm up, a little bit of a surprise from Mother Nature for our Valentine's Day. But it is going to be colder by tomorrow, so enjoy it this evening if you can. Looking at our Doppler radar, we do have a few flurries off to the west that might start to creep in a little bit. We do have the slight chance for some light snow or drizzle tonight. Not a really great chance for us, but we may see it here closer to about 6 to 9 o'clock when that flurry chance is going to slide right into southern Wisconsin. Overall, our wind chill not much of a factor, though it does feel just a few degrees cooler than where actual temperatures are at. But when it feels 40 degrees, we'll go ahead and shave off a few temps for the wind chill. That's fine. Notice, though, by tomorrow morning, we go in a very different direction. Anywhere from 5 below to 15 below for our wind chills to start off the day. Temperatures will drop close to 0 for our overnight lows. But we'll take a closer look at what is ahead for your Friday and this weekend in just a few minutes. Right now, of course, we want to take a look at what's going on the roadways with a first alert traffic update. Overall, things for Dane County look green outside of Madison. The Beltline, though, slowing down quite a bit. And of course, the Beltline, or the 1214 on-ramp to 90 South, closed right now. Major delays on 90 South and even major delays along the Beltline right now. No accidents to report. That's closed due to some pothole fixing that needs to be done. Looking up into Sauk County, overall things look okay in that direction, and in Janesville also looking okay right now. Once you get past the Beltline merge onto 90, it seems like southbound starts to pick up just a little more. Overall drive times from the Beltline to Janesville will take you just about 27 minutes, 16 minutes for Middleton to Sauk City, and from downtown to Sun Prairie. So if you're getting ready to hop on the road for your Valentine's Day dinner date, you should be smooth for your drive home this evening. But again, it's going to be very cold for your Friday. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead for your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in just a few minutes.
More than interstate shutdown coming up in news as well. All right, Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, the Senate has passed a bipartisan border security plan that would finance 55 additional miles of fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border, but it is significantly less than President Trump wanted.
Now he's expected to sign that bill and declare a national emergency to get the rest of the money without Congress. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with more details.
The Senate has passed a spending bill that avoids a government shutdown while providing money for border security. The House is expected to vote later today. This after the president told Senate leaders he will sign the bill.
He will also be issuing a national emergency declaration at the same time. And I've indicated to him that I'm going to support the national emergency declaration.
An emergency declaration would allow the president to go around Congress to get more money for his border wall, but it would also set up a new fight with congressional Democrats.
That would be a very wrong thing to do.
But Senate Republicans appear determined to unite behind the president. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted earlier this afternoon, there is money available to President Trump in the current budget to move around and help build the wall. We'd be stupid as a party not to stand behind him. I can't think of a better issue to define the Democrat and Republican Party than this.
I don't believe that there's any good faith negotiations to have with the Republicans in Congress if they're going to support the president doing an end run about what the will of the people, the Congress of the United States, has put forth.
A national emergency declaration is expected to face challenges in Congress and the courts.
On Capitol Hill, Natalie Brand for News 3 Now.
And White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders issued a statement saying the president is once again delivering on his promise to build the wall, protect the border, and secure our great country.
The former deputy director of the FBI is revealing details about the obstruction of justice investigation he ordered involving President Trump and possible ties to Russia. Andrew McCabe spoke with 60 Minutes in his first television interview since being fired. McCabe became acting director of the FBI during the tumultuous days of May 2017. In an interview with Scott Pelley, he describes a meeting in the Oval Office just hours after President Trump had fired FBI Director James Comey.
I was speaking to the man who had just run for the presidency and won the election for the presidency, and who might have done so with the aid of the government of Russia.
How long was it after that you decided to start the obstruction of justice and counterintelligence investigations involving the president?
I think the next day I met with the team investigating the Russia cases.
The White House dismissed the investigation as baseless, and this morning President Trump responded to McCabe's comments on Twitter, describing him as a puppet for James Comey. Scott Pelley's interview with Andrew McCabe will be on 60 Minutes this Sunday.
Well, this Valentine's Day is a day of service and love at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The community is marking 1 year since the massacre that left 14 students and 3 staff members dead. A moment of silence was held at the school. Some students spent the morning with first responders. Others visited with service dogs. Linda Schulman lost her 35-year-old son, who was a teacher at the school.
I walked down the path today, and it was just like reliving last year when we walked down the path.
The school has beefed up security, adding 100 new cameras and doubling its security staff to 18. Congress has not passed any new federal gun control laws, but has passed legislation allowing states and federal agencies to better share mental health and criminal records. And with the Parkland shooting anniversary in mind, local activists are calling for stricter gun laws.
They're urging state lawmakers to pass what's known as a red flag law. Rose Schmidt is live at the state capitol to explain their strategy. Rose?
Well, Mark and Susan, volunteers spread out throughout this building and delivered petitions to lawmakers' offices. Now, on those petitions were the names of more than 2,000 people from around the state who'd like to see Wisconsin pass a red flag law. The volunteers are part of an organization called Wave Educational Fund. It's a grassroots group that's dedicated to preventing gun violence. And they're asking lawmakers to consider a bill that's still being drafted right now, but it would likely allow a court to prohibit a person from having a firearm if the court believes the person is likely to hurt himself or herself or someone else.
It has nothing to do with not owning firearms, but it has everything to do with making sure people who are showing signs that they will not be responsible in their ownership are not allowed to harm others.
When you look at administration and you look at new people coming in, I think we all say a lot of things. And does it transpire into something? A lot's going to be what bill do we have, who's going to draft it, and what it looks like when it comes through.
Now, you just heard from Representative John Spiros, who chairs the Public Safety Committee. He says he could not commit either way to whether he'd be open to a red flag law until he sees a bill being introduced. Now, that bill is being drafted by Representative Melissa Sargent, who also introduced a similar bill back in 2017, and it was referred to committee but then died. So again, unclear what will happen this session.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting for us live at the state capitol. Thank you.
All group health cooperative clinics were locked down for more than an hour this morning. A person made a threat over the phone, and it was initially believed to be credible. Police say the threat was from a former patient, and group health decided to lock the buildings until they believed it was safe. They reopened around 12:45 this afternoon after police were able to talk to the former patient. Military spouses, the backbone of Wisconsin families, have been impacted by deployments overseas.
And now the state wants to make sure they have the support they need to bring even more to the communities in which they live. Eric Franke has more on a new program that is coming to Wisconsin. Eric?
That's right, Mark and Susan. It is a joint effort. It's from the Departments of Workforce Development, Veterans Affairs, WISC, and the Chamber of Commerce. It's to make sure military spouses can get jobs when they want them. Often, as we know, they're asked to make these massive sacrifices, uproot their families, move from job to job, and that can lead to gaps in their resume and an unemployment rate of 16% among military spouses. That's more than 4 times the national average. Now, this June, Wisconsin will launch its first military spouse economic empowerment zone.
Whatever we can do as a state of Wisconsin to encourage employers, whether it's school districts or private employers, to hire spouses, to understand the value added they're getting when military spouses work for them, their worldview, their experiences across the nation and across the state, we are going to be a better place as a state of Wisconsin.
The first one of these launched in San Antonio, and it brings the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's foundation Hiring Our Heroes Military Spouse Economic Empowerment Zone to Wisconsin, as we mentioned, in June. And its goal is to foster collaboration, create this network to help connect military spouses with meaningful employment opportunities. If you know a military spouse, these are often very adaptable, skilled, mentally tough people who would bring a lot to an employer. Mark and
It is
Susan?
for sure.
Yeah, it sure would.
Very important. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Well, as Dana mentioned, an emergency closure on the interstate this afternoon as crews repair damaged pavement. 2 lanes of I-3990 southbound near mile marker 145 are closed for emergency repairs. DOT officials say extreme temperature fluctuations, severe cold, and heavy snow rapidly deteriorated the pavement. Crews will begin repairs today. All lanes should be open by this weekend. The eastbound ramp from the Beltline onto I-3990 is also closed during the repairs.
People in California are coping with the worst weather they've seen so far this year. Several inches of rain and howling winds triggered a mudslide in Sausalito overnight that sent 2 homes hurling down a hill. Lisa Mulbert lives right below where the homes used to be.
Just really scary, and we just don't know when we can go in or what's going to happen.
All of California is being hit by a weather system called the Pineapple Express. It's a wave of moisture from Hawaii that is hovering over the state and drenching areas that had downpours last week. Some places are getting as much as 7 feet of snow. An avalanche warning is in effect in the backcountry of the Sierra Nevada mountains. California will continue to feel the effects of the Pineapple Express through Friday.
That's the trouble with all those massive wildfires. There's no vegetation to hold that water.
Exactly.
And you get the mudslides.
Puts the weather in perspective a little bit, doesn't it?
A little snow's not so bad.
Yeah.
Well, still to come at 4, Amazon says see ya to the Big Apple.
We'll find out why the gigantic online retailer says it is not setting up shop in New York City after all. That's when Live at 4 continues.
This is News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Welcome back. Amazon has canceled plans to open a second headquarters in New York.
The company says the decision came after considering the opposition from state and local politicians. Protests broke out in the community after the HQ2 announcement, where the plan was criticized for its potential impact on taxpayers and the neighborhood in Queens. Amazon said it will still be moving forward with Virginia and the opening of an Amazon hub in Nashville. The company says it has no plans to reopen the search for HQ2.
Grim retail sales data took a toll on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials lost 103 points, closing at 25,439. The NASDAQ Composite Index added 6.5, but the S&P 500 was off 7. Well, it is almost the weekend in the 608.
Emmy Fink is here with a look at what's going on around town this weekend. Hi, Emmy.
Hi, Emmy.
Hello. Happy Valentine's Day, you two.
Happy Valentine's to the new one.
You're celebrating your little Valentine-to-be.
I know. Wasn't this cute? My sister
cute.
sent this to me in the mail. She's like, you need to wear this on air. So.
I love it. Very cute.
So what if people are still making plans with their sweeties?
Well, then we have just the rundown for you. Whether it's your sweetie or your mom or, you know, whoever you love, you know, you can spend some time with. We have some great options. So the first one is a little music. All right, so Rachel and Vilray, they're very cool. It's a family duo. They play jazz and swing music from the 30s and 40s, which is pretty cool. Between the two of them, just a guitar and a microphone.
That's it.
So talk about a true, beautiful sound there. They're going to take the stage tonight at the Stoughton Opera House, and that starts at 7:30. So even maybe a little time for a little dinner, which when to go if you've never been there. I'm giving dinner advice here today too. Is a great little place on Main Street. So.
Right by the Opera House.
Exactly.
Well, some free music is always a good choice, right?
Always a good choice. And if you combine that with dinner, it's a winning option every time. So these are places that have free music going on all tonight. So you can surprise your sweetie with that. You can head to get some Cajun food, why not, with north of the Bayou. You can dine there. Otherwise, Liliana's in Fitchburg, 1855 Saloon in Cottage Grove, and then Middleton has two options, Louisiana's and Common Ground. So
two birds with one stone.
Oh, you got it.
All good.
Exactly what I was going to say.
All right, the Chazen has some unusual art for the art lover.
So museum is not the way to my heart. You know, food is, but you know, for some people who really like museums, this is one you want to see. Unseen, The Alchemy of Fixing Shadows actually opens tonight. So the opening reception takes place. It's in the 19th century, developing photos required very involved and toxic methods. Well, the process of historical photography is the focus of this exhibit, and it was created by the UW Madison art history students, so going on from 5:30 to 8 tonight. And if you can't catch it tonight, if you have other plans, it runs through the middle of April.
I love old pictures.
Oh,
they're
there
so
you go.
great.
See,
they're so cool.
Here's a great option for you.
That's right. There you go.
I love it.
The Chazen is always a great option.
It is.
What if you want to
sure
include the kiddos in your Valentine's plans?
Well, like Leona said to me this morning, Mama, you are my Valentine.
Oh,
and I
buddy.
said, well, you are my Valentine too, sweetheart. So, and we will have dinner with her tonight. But a very cool option if you want to include the kiddos is taking them to Hawthorne Library on East Washington from 6 until 7 o'clock tonight. They host Kids Code Madison. It's geared for kids between 4th and 8th grade. They're actually going to program their own interactive stories, games, and animations. And it's not just a special Valentine's Day thing. This is a weekly series on Thursdays. So again, if you can't make it, check it out any other Thursday.
All right, how about some post-Valentine music?
Well, you know, why not? If you're not going to get out tonight, a lot of people, it's hard
It's
on
a school
the
night.
weeknight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe this weekend. So there's a 2-night event being held at the Brink Lounge both Friday and Saturday from 7:30 until 11:30. I'm told you're going to find some smoking hot and passionate gypsy jazz. Doesn't that just get you all hot and bothered? And we're going to keep in the theme of love. So it's a gypsy jazz trio. Harmonious Whale is one of the locals that hosts this every year, and then many others. So a great option.
Need to heat things up. It's going to be a cold weekend.
I like it.
All right. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you guys and everyone out there.
Good to see you, Emmy. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Get this month's Madison Magazine for all the best in the Madison area, and we'll be right back. Well, take a look at this. This Valentine's Day, diamond lovers may lose their hearts for this rock. This naturally heart-shaped diamond was found in Russia. No human being had a part in creating its shape. Experts say it's impossible to know the value of this unique gem, which weighs 65.7 carats.
That's incredible.
That's a big rock.
Pretty. You know, someone would pay a lot for that rock.
Oh, yeah. They're actually going to cut it up into diamonds.
What?
Yeah,
Keep it heart-shaped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep it original, polish it a little bit, maybe so it's like more curved heart shape, but I think it's worth more in the
Yeah, I think so.
original.
Just found that way.
Yeah.
What do we know?
I'm not a diamond expert. We went with the pearl, so I don't know anything about diamonds.
You know the weather, though.
I do know the weather.
Okay.
So today, actually, we're close to 40 degrees.
Oh, unbelievable.
So nice.
Oh, look at this shot.
Oh, my gosh. Beautiful sunset for us. In about an hour, the sun goes down. Tomorrow, though, is going to be much colder outside. We'll take a look at your forecast right after the break.
That's a weather calendar shot.
Yes. Sunset is just under an hour away officially for us, but we have a really beautiful sky for us downtown. I'm telling you, I called this yesterday. You get a few sunspots, otherwise a mostly cloudy sky, and the sunset just has some beautiful colors for us. So downtown not looking too bad. If you're able to step outside at all this evening, I'd recommend it because it's still fairly comfortable out, as our high temperature today was in the low 40s. We hit 41 this afternoon just a little bit ago. We're still close to 40 right now. So again, this evening actually going to be fairly comfortable for us for the next few hours. We should have been in the upper 30s. We were certainly past that by this morning. And of course, our overnight low of about 21 earlier today. So how does this compare to years past? Believe it or not, in 2017, we were in the mid 40s. So a very similar Valentine's Day to what we saw last year. Looking back to 2016, 15, and 14, though, it was just a little colder outside for us, a little drop in our temperatures. Overnight lows, this is kind of what we're trending towards now. And then, of course, we haven't picked up any snowfall or rain for the last few years. We saw a little bit of snow back in 2015. Over the next several hours, our temperatures are going to drop. We are looking at the chance, of course, for some rain and snow showers. Just a slight chance for isolated rain and snow showers for us tonight. Not expecting a big dampening on your evening, but you may notice a little drizzle if you are stepping outside. By 7 o'clock, we'll be closer to the low 30s and closer to 9 o'clock. If you're ending your Valentine's Day around then, it'll be about 28 degrees outside. So again, still not too chilly for us. So here's that line of some snowfall still up to the northwest. It's going to continue to drive east, so we may see a little bit of that flurry and light snow move into southern Wisconsin, but it's not going to be a big chance for us and certainly not going to lead to any accumulation as it does swing east. That's an area of low pressure that's just sliding across the southern edge of the state. And notice that clear divide for where the warmer air is right now. Southern Wisconsin stretching down to Illinois. We're on the south side of that warm front. Our temperatures, of course, well above average today, but this cold front is getting ready to cross on over. Cooler air behind that cold front, and we're going to watch our temperatures fall overnight quite a bit. We're going to be dropping as we head into tomorrow, so definitely plan on a colder Friday for us and colder start to the day. Here's that look at the next few hours with that flurry chance coming through. Again, might see a few snowflakes swirling around, especially north of Madison, but not a great chance for us. Temperatures drop behind that front to start off the day. We're going to be in the single digits for overnight lows with wind chills anywhere from 5 to 15 below zero. So a bit of a breeze to start off our morning. Friday afternoon will be in the teens. We'll have a few clouds in the sky, but also a little bit of sunshine. Saturday morning, also a little chilly. Temperatures will be in the single digits early on in the day. And then we are expecting our afternoon highs to be a little warmer, not in the teens. Will be closer to 20 for us in Madison. So overnight low temps tonight, again, close to 5. Our breeze anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour coming from the northwest. So it's a little colder air. It's going to become partly cloudy steadily for us as that flurry chance and the clouds clear on out. And we are looking at a colder start to your day. So bundle up to start off your Friday. Later in the afternoon, you're probably going to need the jacket, as well as high temperatures will stay in the mid-teens, about 15 degrees for our high for your Friday. It is going to be mostly sunny outside, but it is going to be much colder outside. So we get some sun, but it is going to be a little colder. That's the trade-off for us. Don't let the sun deceive you. Looking at the next several days, of course, Friday is going to be the coldest day by far, and then we bounce back up just a little bit into the 20s for our afternoon highs for the weekend and through all of next week. Overnight lows are going to stay a little chilly, though. We're not looking at another jump back up to 40 degrees anytime soon for us, but temperatures are trending below average for the next full week. Now, we may see some light snow come in on Saturday and for Sunday. Minor accumulations, maybe an inch or two, but not expecting anything significant for us. But we already have enough snow on the ground, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon with those temperatures staying where they're at. Now, of course, today getting close to 41, we did see a little bit of a reduction in our snow depth outside, but it's still out there right now.
But and now that crust is getting it real hard, like creme brulee.
Absolutely, yes. It's exactly like a nice Valentine's Day dessert outside.
Yes. Well done, Mark. There's a good segue there.
Lola walks on, and then she breaks through, and then she's stuck.
And then she's stuck, yes, yes. So that's what's going to happen for us heading into tomorrow morning. That's a great image. I'm sorry.
All right, well, thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Glad I could help. Coming up, congenital heart defects affect more babies and their families than you would ever think.
On this Valentine's Day, we'll put a personal face on one such story. We're talking about hearts when Live at 4 continues. I'm here.
Oh, look at the UW Memorial Union in campus.
That is a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Sunset. 1 in 100 babies born each year in the United States are affected by congenital heart defects.
Little Island is one of those babies. She is 5 months old and has spent her entire life at Children's Hospital in Milwaukee, having gone through many surgeries and treatments by doctors there, with the hope that someday she can go home. Heart defects are conditions that people live with throughout their lives.
An estimated 1 million children and 1.4 million adults in the United States were living with a congenital heart defect. Alexa Rogers is his mother, and she joins us now with this personal story. Thanks for being with us
Hi,
today.
Alexa. Good to see you.
You're welcome.
Where are we at now? She's 5 months old.
She's 5 months
And
old.
how many procedures has she had?
She's had 2 open heart surgeries. She's had multiple other procedures, infections, complications, but primarily the 2 open heart surgeries were the longest and toughest days.
When did you first discover this?
We went to the 20-week ultrasound, and they did the ultrasound. Everything looked good until they got to the heart. And when they got to her heart, they said, "We're not seeing everything we need to see. We're going to send you to a specialist."
So you were on bed rest immediately, weren't you?
I wasn't on bed rest yet. I was on bed rest a few weeks after her diagnosis and spent a month in the hospital prior to her birth and have been there since.
So she has spent her entire life in the hospital even before she was born?
Even before she was born, yes, yes.
What is her prognosis?
You know, we're hopeful that we can bring her home, within the next couple of months, and she can be loved by her siblings.
You have 4 other children on top of this.
I do have 4 other kids who, they bring the most joy to us.
Well, what's your message to folks watching this right now?
That congenital heart defects are the most common birth defect that is out there, but there's no face to it. There's no face.
Here's a face right here.
Look at that face. Oh, buddy.
That indeed is a face.
She's so beautiful, Alexa.
And it's incredibly underfunded. It's because of research that she's here today. And so I just want to get people talking about congenital heart defects, to get people out there and know that this is an issue. It's the most common birth defect, and there's so much more work to do.
Besides all the tubes and everything, she looks like a healthy baby.
She is, yes. She's doing well. We've had our ups and downs. Feeding is an issue. We've had issues with infections and other complications, but ultimately she smiles at us, and that brings us the utmost joy.
How has this affected your family? You've been living at the Ronald McDonald House, I understand.
We have. It's been incredibly hard. I mean, I have been there with Island every day throughout the week, and then our weekends consist of our older 4 kids and my husband coming down to stay with us and spend the entire weekend with Island. And they've given up, to be 14 and spend the weekend with your parents in a hospital room isn't quite what every 14-year-old wants to do. So
it's a family of heroes.
It is.
Best hope that she'll have a relatively normal life one day?
Yes. We hope and pray that she's going to do well, that she will thrive like all other children, like our other older siblings, and that she'll be happy.
Well, thank you for sharing it, because, I'm a big believer you can get through anything in your life as long as you know you're not alone. And somebody will be watching.
Absolutely.
And exhale for the first time tonight to know that someone else is on this journey,
I know there's many other 1 in 100s out there.
1 in 100, that is a daunting statistic.
It really is. Our best of luck to you and your family.
And keep us posted on her progress.
I absolutely will.
She's a doll.
Thank you.
Alexa, thanks for being with us.
Great to see you. Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
Well, when we come back, the Badgers give back.
On this Valentine's Day, Wisconsin men's and women's crew row their hearts out to raise money and awareness of pediatric brain cancer. We'll have that story when Live at 4 continues.
So most of the focus, of course, still on 90 in the Beltline. The ramp there from 12 and 18 merging onto the Beltline southbound still closed for some emergency repairs. You can see nobody coming onto traffic. And on the 90 side of things, reduced down to just one lane. The cones all lined up there. So we're seeing significant delays and backups along 90 and even the Beltline eastbound right now. So if you are heading southbound or do have to head southbound on 90, know that it gets a little better once you get past the Beltline. But up until that point, long stretch of delays for us. Drive times for the Beltline, or speeds for the Beltline, you get closer to John Nolan, it's reduced down to about 30 miles per hour, but those speeds improving greatly the further west you are going eastbound. Sauk County looks okay up towards the Dells, not seeing any concerns right now. And if we look down towards Janesville, also looking okay for us. And it's always no accidents to report, which is always a good thing. Drive times from Janesville to the Beltline at about 26 minutes, 19 minutes from Middleton to Sauk City and from downtown to Sun Prairie. So your drive this evening does look like it's a little slower along the Beltline. And again, on 90, keep that in mind if you have to go southbound along 90 at all. That's a quick look at your first alert traffic.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Called a great deal on the Great Bambino. A collector scored big when he nabbed an ultra-rare Babe Ruth baseball card for next to nothing. Dale Ball was visiting a card shop in Nevada when he found it. The owner thought it was a fake and sold it for just $2. Ball says an authenticator has since confirmed it's a rare 1921 card worth possibly millions of dollars. Ball says he's already received 3 multi-million-dollar offers, but he refuses to sell. He says if he does decide to cash in, the collector who sold him the card will get a cut.
I love when that happens.
Good for him.
Yes.
It shares the wealth. Well, it was a big night on campus for Wisconsin rowing and an even bigger night for brain cancer awareness.
Badger men's and women's crew competed simultaneously against top rowers from Princeton, MIT, Stanford, and Syracuse to raise money for a very important cause. It was the 4th annual Connors Erg Challenge. Lake Mendota is still covered with ice, but inside the Porter Boathouse on the UW-Madison campus, the racing season is here.
2, 1,
The Badger men's and women's crew came together for a night of intense competition and to help Liz Dawes do something good.
Our family is from Wisconsin. And
from Beaver Dam?
From Beaver Dam.
Yeah.
My husband and I went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Our family, our kids were born in Milwaukee, so we are Wisconsin.
Liz traveled to Madison all the way from Melbourne, Australia to watch the Badgers compete in the 4th annual Connors Erg Challenge. The event was created in honor of Liz's son, Robert Connor Dawes, who was born in Wisconsin and raised in Australia. It was Connor's dream to row at either Wisconsin or Stanford. But at 18, in his senior year of high school, Connor was diagnosed with brain cancer and passed away 16 months later.
He was diagnosed, and that was devastating. We were not prepared. He obviously was having some cognitive issues and balance issues, which led to the diagnosis. He had surgery, he had radiation, he had rehab, he had chemo at the end. But unfortunately, if you have a malignant brain tumor, there aren't a lot of options.
What did Connor love about rowing?
He loved the camaraderie. It was hard work, but it felt good. He loved the idea that you had to work together for a common outcome, that no one could be better than somebody else. You had to work in unison. It is the ultimate team sport.
Liz channeled her grief into a foundation that's raised more than $5 million for pediatric brain cancer research. The Ergathon is a big part of that.
An erg is the device that you usually see in health clubs. You know, the thing that you sit on and you go back and forth, and in health clubs, generally, you don't see them going particularly hard or for very long. But anything with a thon stuck on the end usually means whatever the misery is, you just multiply it by long distances.
The goal is to go 100 kilometers in the fastest time possible.
Normally, erg, again, no one considers erging, boy, that's what I'm going to do with my spare time. I'm going to go erg because it's so fun. However, it's set up in such a way that each guy has to go 500 meters, which isn't very long in rowing. It's somewhere around 1:30, and they do it 8 times.
The rowers go as hard as possible for an hour, and as the clock counts down, it gets intense. Winning the Connor Cup is about much more than having the fastest time. It's about working together to keep a dream alive.
It reminds me so much of what Wisconsin is. Wisconsin, to me, not having lived here but coming back, is just people get behind things, and it's genuine. Our son is from Wisconsin. He loved to row. He was cheated of that chance, and so you don't have to say much more than that. Everybody just rallies around it.
Especially young kids. Now I'm sounding like, you know, hey, get off my lawn, kind of old guy. But they just think they're going to live forever. And if we can do our little part, especially here at UW, where there's such an incredible medical establishment, to raise some money and for a great cause, and also have some fun.
So when it was all over, the men from Syracuse and the women from Princeton had the fastest times in the ergathon, but the Badgers won the fundraising competition. They raised over $35,000, and all together this year, the Connors Erg Challenge raised $70,000 for the Robert Connor Dawes Foundation. If you'd like to help the cause or learn more about it, go to rcdfoundation.org. So it started initially with just Wisconsin and Stanford, the 2 schools that Connor was deciding between. But this was the first year it expanded to 5. And they all did it at the same time, simultaneously.
Raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
And your alma mater won, Syracuse.
Yeah, the men did, yeah. Now, you're an erger, so you kind of have this.
Well, I do it at the health club. I don't
Right.
do that. But I think 5,000 meters is the most I've ever done at one time.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
It is so much harder than it looks. The women's coach, BB Bryans, was saying to me that it's sort of like cross-country skiing with weights on. That was the best way she could describe what it's like.
It's incredible.
Yeah, they're amazing athletes.
Dude. Including your son.
Yeah, that little glimpse of him in there
that
as
was
well.
a quick shot of Matthew.
Well done, Badgers.
Congratulations, everyone. And we'll be right back with a final check of your forecast. enjoy the warmth for the next few hours.
Yes, if you can get outside right now, actually really expecting a pleasant evening for us, but things are going to get windy and colder overnight. In the last 24 hours, we've jumped about 14 degrees in Madison. That puts us at 40 right now, 41 in Janesville, 39 in Mineral Point and in Monroe. So it is a pretty mild evening, but notice off to the west, temperatures already in the 20s toward La Crosse. That colder air is in our direction. So by tomorrow morning, look at that drop. We will be in the single digits to start off your Friday. So plan on a very chilly.
Those are the
early morning.
temps, not wind chill.
Yes.
Oh, my
I switched it, so we're going with temperatures now. So you can see the right on down.
Oh, yeah.
Still February.
Correct. Yes, this is still winter.
So little tease today.
Right.
All right, Dana, thank you. Coming up tomorrow here on Live, before we go backstage with Michael Bruno as he checks out Henry IV Part 2.
And Lola and Louie, our canine correspondents, will be here with the best animal stories of the week. In the News Hounds Update, that's tomorrow on Live at 4.